Hey there, friends. Thanks for joining. I would like to take a few minutes to demonstrate and point out some of the details of my favorite standing little mini sequence I call the Tai Chi Warrior. So for years, when I first started practicing yoga, I was also practicing some Tai Chi. And I do recall some of the foundational principles, I guess, of what makes Tai Chi so beneficial, and I like to incorporate that into my sequences just because it is really beneficial, especially for improving your balance and creating leg strength, lower body strength. So you'll start with your feet a little bit wider than your shoulders and hips. So if you're on a mat facing like the front of the mat, depending how wide your mat is, your feet might be off the mat or might be on the kind of very edges of the mat, but your feet are definitely a little bit wider than your hips and your shoulders. And then I'll ask you to bend your left knee and turn your right toes out. So as I bend my left knee and turn the right toes out, I shift almost all my weight onto this left foot. My right foot over there is really light. There's barely any weight on it. A lot of weight on this left foot. And when you do this, I'll give you a different view here. When you bend your left knee this way, I'd like you to also think about opening the front of your hip as opposed to sitting back like you're going to sit in a chair. Think about trying to open the front of this hip and releasing your tailbone toward the floor. Imagine there's a string on your tailbone with a 1 pound weight on the end of it. Just gently tractioning it down so you feel your lower back as a result relax. You feel your quadriceps engage more though. As I mentioned, it's really good for strengthening your lower body. So, shift weight on that left foot and sit up really tall. Imagine you're sitting in meditation. Now bring your right hand up, I guess blocking a strike. If someone was to push you or try to hit you, you kind of dodge by shifting your weight back and blocking with this hand, right? So you don't need to lock your elbow, have kind of a soft quality to your elbow. And then finally, left hand under your heart like you're giving an offering. And just settle in here for a moment. Make sure you feel really stable and your upper body should feel kind of light like it's floating. If you feel like your upper body is engaging too much, you might need to shift your hip forward a bit. So again, you open the front of this hip and your lower back can relax. So take a few more breaths here. Slow, smooth breathing through your nose. If you'd like, you can incorporate Ujjayi Pranayama. So you hear the breath move in and out of your throat. Okay, now shift your weight onto your right foot and bend your right knee. As you see, we straighten this back knee. And at this point, you might need to readjust that back foot a little bit. That's fine if you do. And again, it should be really light. Most of your weight now is on your right foot as this knee bends. And then turn your shoulders. Imagine you're gonna push with your left hand and pull back with your right hand. So now you're here. And again, shift this back foot if necessary. Most of your weight is on this right foot. Take a few breaths. Once you feel stable in both positions, let's go back and forth. So as you inhale, pull back and bend your left knee. Shift away onto your left foot. Block with your right hand. And as you exhale, bend your right knee. Push with your left hand and turn your shoulders. Inhale as you pull back, shift right onto your left foot. Then exhale as you shift right onto your right foot, bend your right knee and give a push with your left hand. Let's try that a few more times. As I mentioned a couple of times already, feel free to readjust your feet if you need, so you do feel stable and it doesn't bother your knees. Last little tip here, as you're shifting weight from one foot to the other, keep your hips low. See if you can avoid lifting your hips up and then bringing them back down. Try to keep them kind of the same height the whole time. Once you've gone for about a minute, then let's just change sides. So turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, bend your right knee, shift weight onto that foot, sit up really tall. See if you can relax your low back. Open the front of this right hip. Left hand is doing the blocking now, right hand is giving the offering. Take a few more breaths. All right, now shift weight onto your left foot, bend your left knee, turn your shoulders and push with your right hand. Readjust your feet if necessary. Settle in here. Okay, now back and forth. Inhale, pull back, bend your right knee. Exhale, push and bend your left knee. Shift weight onto your right foot, sit up tall. Shift right onto your left foot and lean into it a little bit. Keep going, just like the first side. Okay, once it feels like you've gone to both sides an equal number of times, just turn your left toes in. Let's take a few breaths here in the center. Okay, great. So I hope you found this helpful, and I also hope to see you in one of my classes soon.